guys, this is Bernice. I'm coming back to you with a new video, and this video is kind of different. Obviously, I am all dressed up in a suit and a white shirt. You know, we're going to talk about professionalism. I'm just coming here real quick because it just occurred to me that the most basic things about professionalism is not the easiest thing for people to know, especially people who have never been in the professional world or anything like that. I'm not saying I'm an expert in the term professionalism or the actions of professionalism, but I feel like I have some information that I can give a few people out there to help them through life and coming into the professional world. So I'm going to just give you a few tips on how to communicate and correspond with your new bosses, or let's say you're trying to get into pharmacy school or you just got into pharmacy school, and how you should communicate with your new school in order to appear professional and not make them feel like they made the wrong decision to get you admitted into the school. So in this video, I'll be talking about correspondence with the school and just a few interview tips. So professionalism is a very broad topic, but I'll just be expatiating today on interviewing and correspondence with the school before you ever meet them in person. So let's start with correspondence. Let's say you're trying to apply into a school of pharmacy or any professional school, or you're trying to apply to a job. That first email that you send out to your new boss, to your new school, that is your first impression, and it's very important for you to make it count. You have to make sure you're writing in very correct English. You have to make sure you proofread your email as many times as possible to make sure you didn't make any English errors. You want to make sure you're using the correct phrases, expressing yourself in the right way. Trying to say whatever you're trying to say in the email, make sure you're using the right words, and make sure whenever you type up an email or type up anything, you want to read it out loud, because sometimes when you're typing, it sounds right when you're typing, but when you read it out loud, it doesn't make sense. I don't know if that resonates with you guys, but it happens to me a lot, and it just helps and it benefits you a lot if you read your email out loud or your cover letter out loud. My second point is to proofread. Of course, I just said that. Use a reasonable email name. Don't use emails like lusciousbaby@yahoo.com or sexypink@yahoo.com when you're communicating with your new boss or communicating with your new school. You want to use emails like last name, first name, yahoo.com. Keep it simple so they know who the email is from, so they know how fast to respond to it. So you want to keep your emails simple. Don't go with starbaby456@gmail.com. Like, no, don't do that. You want to use your last name, first name, yahoo.com or gmail.com or whatever your preference is, but you want to make sure your email has your names in it so that they know who is corresponding with them and how fast to reply to the email. So that's very important. And also make sure when you write your email, your cover letter or whatever letter of intent you're writing to your new boss, make sure you have another person read it for you. Sometimes you may think that you have everything covered, but another fresh pair of eyes, another fresh brain can go through it and tell you you missed this or you didn't miss that, or you should edit this way because it makes more sense. So you want to have another person that you trust and has a good brain up there to read it for you and see if you made any mistakes. Also, as obvious as this sounds, this is 2017, you would think everybody knows this, but make sure you type this up. If you're writing a letter, an email, whatever it is, type it up. Don't write anything by hand and send to anybody, because nobody can read your handwriting to start with, and this is 2017. You'll be surprised. There's some people out there who think it's okay to send documents, important documents, handwritten. Unless the school or your boss requires you to write something handwritten, you want everything to be typed up because it's clean and straight to the point. Nobody has to be decoding your handwriting, you know, trying to decode whatever it is that you were trying to say. So make sure you type everything up. Word document, make sure your English is correct. If you see a squiggly red line on the word is probably not correct, or it's a new word for your computer or something. If you see a squiggly red line under, you want to look at it and make sure that whatever you wrote is correct. The next thing is you want to go online and research on whatever it is that you're trying to do. So before I applied into pharmacy school, I was online. Dr. Google. I was online Googling what my letters are supposed to look like, what my cover letter, why do you want to get into pharmacy school? Of course I knew I wanted to get into pharmacy school because I love pharmacy. I want to become a pharmacist. I love helping people. I love medications, and I just like the whole thing. But what I just said right now, I can't just write it on a paper because it doesn't really sound, everybody who is in pharmacy school loves pharmacy. So that's very generic. So I had to go online and see what exactly to include into my letter of my cover letter, and why I want to go get into pharmacy school and why I want to become a pharmacist. So you want to go online, do research on other people who have written this kind of message in the past. You want to see what they included in there, if they included their background, history, a little personal story in there. You want to know what to include into this cover letter for your application or whatever it is you're trying to do. So you want to go online, do as much research as you can. Google is going to be your friend throughout this process. Make sure you are Googling everything. Not everything on the internet is correct, so you want to Google with the brain up there and know what to take and what to leave. And make sure you always end your emails with yours sincerely, yours truly. You know, be very polite, be as polite as you can possibly be. This could sound fake, but it's not. It is very important for you to be polite in your first correspondence through emails before these people meet you in person, because they don't know who you are. You might be the nicest person on earth, but if you're not polite, and that first email is going to tell them this person is not polite, or this person is not going to be a nice person, this person will not be able to interact with people. So make sure you're as polite as you can possibly be. So good old, you know, manners your parents taught you. Make sure you're very polite in your emails. Make sure you're straight to the point. Make sure you're not rude. If you read it and it sounds rude, or somebody else could take it out of context as rude, you have to change it. So if in your opinion it's not rude, but somebody else could take it as rude, you should change it, because, you know, you never know. Maybe that somebody else will be your new boss. So make sure you're paying attention to all that. Okay, I don't want this video to be long. I'm just going to get into the interview tips. Before your interview day, it's a big day. You're nervous. I'm just going to keep talking about pharmacy school because that's like my biggest interview that I've done so far at this point. So I was really, really nervous. I had to prepare for it. Ladies, you want to keep the hairstyles as simple as possible. I'm a naturalista. I put my hair in a little bun like this because I think this is the most responsible looking way to put it. Other people might differ, but I will not advise you to wear colored hair to an interview. So red hair, brown hair, whatever color, you know, you're feeling that day. I wouldn't advise colored hair, but to each his own. So you do what you do, but I would advise you black hair. If your hair is black, you should keep it black. Simple styles, a little bun, very simple. You don't want to distract your interviewer with your hairstyle, because that will take away from who you are, your personality, and everything like that. So you want to make sure, ladies, get your hair live together. If your hair is braided, if you have a nice weave in there, make sure it's black. My opinion again, but I think that's the best way to go about it. Make sure you pack up your documents the night before. Make sure you have every single document they told you to bring into this interview. Is it your, you know, transcript, letter of recommendations, just everything that you need to do. Make sure you put this together the night before, because that morning you're very nervous. You're not sure what to expect, and you might forget some documents, and there's nothing worse than forgetting documents. Or just think, oh, this one can't even put documents together. Why should we accept her into our school? So make sure your documents are together the night before, so that if you forgot anything, you're gonna get it together that night. Sleep up. Make sure you are well rested. Have at least 8 hours of sleep, because this will help with stress. You will not have any bags under your eye and looking all weird the next day. So make sure you get enough rest the night before. It's very important. And ladies, I don't know about guys that wear nail polishes too. You want to keep the nails simple. Right now I have white nails, but no, you don't want that. No white nails. Clip your nails. Make sure they're nice and clean. Ladies, this is not the time for you to have the longest stiletto nails or the longest coffin-shaped nails. This is not the time. Once you get into pharmacy school, you can do that. But this one day for your interview is not the time for you to have those long nails and every blinged up things that you can have on it. So no long nails, ladies. Okay, no colored nails, no long nails. The day of the interview, this is the big day, right? Dress the part. Make sure you dress the part. You want to keep the colors simple again. Today, fortunately, we had a little thing going on in school and I was dressed up like this, which inspired this video, by the way. So, this is literally how I was dressed on the day of my interview into pharmacy school. White shirt, black suit. You can wear navy blue, dark blue. I just went with black because it's simple. I have some black pants on. You can wear black skirt, but if you wear black skirt, you want to wear black tights under so you don't distract your interviewers with your legs. And you want to wear some baby heels. That's all my opinion. But I believe that it doesn't distract your interviewer with your looks. You don't want to distract your interviewer with your looks. You're there for your brains. You're there because you're smart. You're there because you have this beautiful personality that you want to portray to this person, and why did you admit you into the school or hire you for this job. So you don't want to distract them. You don't want to take away their minds from what you're presenting, which is your intelligence and your smarts. You don't want to distract them with your hair, your nails, your shoes, whatever, you know. So keep it simple. Keep it simple, easy on the eyes. Perfumes, keep it to the minimum. Don't take your favorite perfume and spray it all over, because first of all, some people are allergic to perfumes. So you want to keep that to the minimum. Just put on some deodorant and squirt a few, you know, pumps of perfumes here and there. And that should be good. That should be good for you. You want to show up 30 minutes before your interview. That's very important because you come in there, you know where the interview location is going to be, you know where everything is going to be. You just want to be there early so that they know that you're determined. So before your interview, make sure you show up 30 minutes early. Introduce yourself, be nice, greet the people, tell them what you're there for, and just be polite. Same old politeness. It's very important for you to be polite. You're at their mercy. Their decision, your whole life's decision is in their hands. So be as polite as you can possibly be. You want to keep eye contact with your interviewer. Make sure you're looking at them in the eyes and you're not dazing off. You're looking at them in the eyes and you're listening attentively. If possible, take a little note card and a pen and you're taking notes while they're talking, because it's very important for you to pay attention to what they're saying so that you don't ask questions that they already mentioned, if that makes any sense. And by the end of the interview, make sure you ask at least one question. I know you've heard this before, but it's very, very important, because that's how you make an impression. That's how you leave a mark on your interviewer. Whatever question you ask will get them thinking, and once they leave the interview, they'll say, oh, well, we didn't really think about this in our company. We didn't really think about this in our school. And this one girl, Bernice, asked about it. Maybe we should incorporate it in our school. So have at least one question. When I was interviewing into pharmacy school, I had a few questions, generic questions that I put in my mind. I was like, okay, I'll ask this question if they didn't mention it. I'll ask that question if they didn't mention it. So I always asked about scholarships. So if they didn't talk about scholarships, which most professional schools don't really have a lot of scholarships, so they don't usually mention it. So when they ask, do you have any questions? And I'll go, does your school offer any kind of scholarships? And boom, I have a question. And it's a really, really important question because professional school is really expensive. So they will go into details to explain to us, these scholarships are available, these ones are not available, and this is the reason why, and stuff like that. Other questions that I will ask is, does your school offer any kind of mentorship? Because coming into pharmacy school, I'm stressed out, I'm terrified, I'm afraid of the unknown, and I just want to know if the senior students or teachers will be able to mentor us and baby step us into the program. And that was always a question that I always asked, and everybody always thought it was very fascinating. I don't know. So that's a good 2 questions for you to ask if your interview is coming up for pharmacy school, professional school, whatever. Don't panic, you'll be fine. Smile as much as you can. That would be your best accessory at this time, especially for the ladies, because you don't have a lot of makeup going on. Ladies, keep the makeup to the minimum. Draw your eyebrows in, a little foundation, little some. You don't want to distract the interviewer. That's our goal. We don't want to distract the interviewer. So we want to keep everything to a minimum. After your interview, make sure you send a thank you note to your interviewer for having the time to talk to you, because, you know, just thank them. Send them a thank you note after your interview, and when you hear back from them and stuff like that in this email, very brief, and yours truly at the end, because we want to be nice. We are at the mercy of this decision. It's very important for our lives. I don't want to make this video really long, and I'll leave you guys right here, and we'll talk on my next video. Goodbye.